My next author has also worked with a lot of students, and they are students and parents of students who are held back by depression, by trauma, by their emotions, and they are not achieving the success that is possible for them. I know you know a kid like this, a kid who has everything going for them and still can't quite push the ball over that goal line. This author wrote a book called My Child's Not Depressed Anymore: Treatment Strategies That Will Launch Your College Students' Academic and Personal Success. Please join me in welcoming Melissa Lopez-Larson. Hello. So let's talk about My Child's Not Depressed Anymore. What is your book about?
My book is primarily a guideline for parents to read and understand the different types and causes of depression and how it can be impacting their students' life. And it's really written for parents of kids anywhere between the age of 16 to say 25 who are struggling with depression. They don't know why, and it really talks about the variety of causes that could be interfering with their life. And then I go into a little bit more about how to choose the right college and how to get the right support for your student, because that's another major thing that's problematic is, you know, kids go to school and they don't have the support that they need within the academic setting.
What happens, do you think, for parents? Obviously, all parents love their children. What happens for parents when a kid is struggling? What do they try that doesn't work? What are some of the mistakes that they make?
I try not to call them mistakes, but typically what we do, you know, what you find is you just call around, you talk to your pediatrician, you talk to your friends, and you try to find somebody who you feel will be helpful. One of the things is, especially if your child is 18, 19, 20, they'll oftentimes wind up in the adult mental health system, which I think, you know, is a great system, but may not be the best system for, you know, somebody who's in that transitional period between adolescence and adulthood. And so one of the things that I tell individuals is when you're calling around to finding a specialist or a treater for your child, really make sure that they are qualified and understand the struggles that are specific to that transitional period.
So you are a best-selling author now, and you sure sound like you know what you're talking about. But before we move on to audience questions, I want to hear a little bit more about your bio, your background. What makes you an expert and the author of this book?
Well, I've had about 15 years of clinical experience treating adults, adolescents, and children. And I have a very extensive research background as well, and I did a lot of brain neuroimaging studies looking at brain development. And I've also done a lot of studies looking at how cannabis affects developing brains. So I have a really good insight with teenagers, and so I know how they think, and I know kind of what's going on in their brains and how they're still trying to catch up. And so I think that puts me in a pretty unique position to really understand what's going on with them biologically, and then I also have a really extensive background in understanding just the development and all the other social and biological issues that could be occurring at that age.
Do you feel like the legalization in many states of cannabis has had an effect on success at the college level?
That's a really good question. I think, you know, a lot of these students are coming back and they're being exposed to higher and higher levels of cannabis use. And so one of the things I talk about even in the book is really trying to get individuals clean for a period of time, let their brains grow, let them develop normally again, and then they can get back on track. A lot of times the cannabis in and of itself can cause depressive symptoms.
Wow, that is fascinating. So Elaine from Spain, Alfaro, Spain. Hello, Elaine. We're excited you're here. We wish we were in Spain a little bit. She says, it feels like there's always something more to edit. How do you know when your book is done? You're obviously very busy, but we're able to get your book done in just 4 or 5 months. How did you know when it was done?
Well, I think I had a great team that supported me and made sure that I had deadlines, and it was very, they kind of hold you to task and say, this is it. And so, you know, you eventually just say, okay, this is good. My team agrees that it's good, and it's time to just get it out there for the world to see.
Deadlines are magical, Elaine. Non-negotiable deadlines are the answer to everything. Because of course you could have edited it for another 4 months or 4 years or 4 decades if we wanted. So you know it's done because you decide in advance it's done. This is Melissa's book, Melissa Lopez-Larson. She is the author of My Child's Not Depressed Anymore, Treatment Strategies that will launch your college student to academic and personal success. Well, congratulations on your personal and your academic success, and mostly congratulations on this book. Great job, Melissa.